New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
This is What's Up and Why, bringing you the bright side of life, one fun moment at a time. Brought to you by the New Thought Media Network. Please put your hands together for your hosts, Rev Casey Taylor and Miss B Lovely. Salute to real as we come in on this Thursday, September 25th. Hey y'all, I'm Miss B Lovely.
And I am Reverend Casey Taylor. I use they, them pronouns. I am loving your energy, Miss B Lovely, today. What is going on with you? You had some good coffee or something? Like your energy. I'm with it. It's on some best day ever tip right here.
No, didn't have any coffee. I'm gonna be real. Cardi B's sophomore album, Am I the Drama, dropped last Friday, and I lied to you not. That album has been in heavy rotation, like repeat, top to bottom, listening to it in order. It is amazing, and she has such great motivational anthems on that album. Like how I start off the song, how I start off the show saying "Salute." That's actually from one of her songs, "Salute." And it's like a little, empowerment theme, like salute to all the real people who's out here hustling, getting it, making it happen, despite all the odds that's up against you. If you're making it, salute.
Yes, I appreciate you put me on. I have turned on this album and listened to like the first song over and over again, and just I'm not in the car very much, and that's really when I listen to music, and I just haven't been messing with stuff. But it has been on my to-do list to listen to this album from top to bottom. So it's good to hear because I'm all about the motivation of music, especially with hip hop. Yep, Cardi B, Am I the Drama? I am for motivational anthems. So I appreciate you putting me on, and I will make sure that it's a priority that I get to this.
Shout out to all the people who make motivational songs. Like for me, my workout playlist, it's all motivational songs, like hard hitting, pushing, something that gets you to be like, I need a little bit, something else to help me to get through this last rep. And a couple of them songs from that album, I had to put on my workout playlist. So if you haven't listened to Cardi B's Am I the Drama, please give it a listen. It's amazing. It's been a 7-year wait. Her first album, Invasion of Privacy, got her the first Grammy for individual female artist for Best Rap Album. I think it's a great time for rap music this year with the Grammys and everything. Sorry to go off on a little tangent on awards and something, but I think this is a great contender for rap album of the year. This album from top to bottom, she gets real personal about her recent divorce with Offset, stuff that she went through, the new love that she's experiencing now. And I've been watching her tour, her press run. She's doing this while pregnant. This woman is heavily pregnant, doing these meet and greets in these cities. She's on a tour right now where fans can buy the album, come up and take a picture with her. In Atlanta, there was thousands of people out there. And she said, I'm going to stay out here until every single last one of you guys gets a picture with me. And I'm like, shout out to her, because for her to have the energy and, the want to do this while heavily pregnant, I know that woman is tired and hungry, but she out here grinding. Salute to Cardi.
Yes. She was talking about how she had to get up early to get ready for court every morning and then work on the press things afterwards. So she was like, I was getting maybe 3 hours of sleep a night while I was in court every day. And she was just really talking about how we need to grind and get on our hustle. And that's how she does it. I'm a huge proponent of rest. On Sunday, I talked all about how grind culture has made it that we are grinding ourselves up to a whole. And personally, to be honest, the reason that I haven't prioritized listening to Cardi's album is because I've been hearing her talk a lot about grind culture, and I was like, I'm not really in that mood. I'm on rest mode.
Yeah.
But there's a time and a place for it, right? Like, no shade to Cardi. I'm sure she gets lots of rest as well. She right now, you got a new album out. When you got a new album, you're on your
Yeah. So we lost Rev KC Taylor. So we're just gonna continue. One thing that I really wanted to piggyback on with the conversation. Hey, there you are.
I don't know, the
But
internet.
the universe was like, hold on, no, we gonna take you down, honey. Welcome back. But she was saying, like, right now you're not in a space of grinding, you're in a space for resting and listening to your body, which is absolutely necessary because don't want to burn yourself out.
Yeah, and it, for me, and this is what I mean, like phases, right? Because I realized, and I didn't consciously process the fact. This is why I've been in and out for this show over the course of the last month. Is I realized I had 3 trips in 1 month, and no
Yeah.
part of me like processed. I didn't start in at the beginning of August and be like, okay, I got 3 trips, so let me plan my month accordingly and be very intentional about catching up and all of these things and prepping to leave town, all of that kind of stuff. Because I've been staying present, I wasn't looking ahead. And so this experience of the 3 trips gave me an opportunity to recognize how to find that perfect balance between being present and also being prepared for what I got going on in my calendar and developing some good organizational structure. So right now, what has to look like for me is dedicating 20 minutes of meditation in the morning. Before, I was going to yoga pretty regularly, and my yoga membership is done, and I'm looking at hyping up my workout practice. That was a whole idea of like a year of yoga. Now I'm ready to kick up my workout practice, and I'm taking it slow. So this week was starting the habit of meditation. Next week, I've created space for a workout or 2. And my plan is to do like maybe 2 workouts a week, moving up to like 3 or 4, and just like be slow. Don't come out hard, just really work on developing these new routines one moment at a time. And once I'm back to next time, I got 3 trips in a month, and I'm aware, I'm being very intentional about what 2026 looks like for me so that I can plan and prepare. And so when I'm back on hustle mode, I'm confident that this Cardi B album will be the perfect soundtrack for when I'm in that place. But right now I'm on some silence and quiet and peace and just really, really, like I said, I'm on rest mode and it's working for me.
That's really good. We all need those moments. Like, one thing that I've been learning, like, as I continue to, evolve and have experience in life, is that we're not always going to be at one level of life, throughout life. Like, there's going to be those moments where you need to slow down, be intentional, have rest. And then there's going to be moments where it's like, okay, grinding, getting it done and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with either one of them. I just saw this quote from Issa Rae because she's on a book tour right now for her new book. I think it's called like I Should Have Made Smarter Decisions, something along those lines. But her quote was basically talking about how being, in the opposite direction of grinding, being slow to the point where you might feel like you're procrastinating, but there's nothing wrong with being in that area because that's like an incubation period for creativity and for what you're going to do next. And that was a level that I was in for like a couple of months that I had to work through because I saw it as a negative because growing up with my mom as a teacher, she was always on me to, you got to be doing something. You cannot be sitting down. Like, what do you mean? You're not doing anything. You're not working on anything. Like, I saw that as a negative. Whereas, like through therapy and like learning and stuff, I'm learning it's okay to be able to slow down and take your time and not dive into the next thing because you need to have that brewing period to create new ideas.
That part. And for creative people, that's super, super necessary. And I think we just aren't, especially like what you're talking about, our Black folks is we're taught to grind, right?
Yeah.
And as you are identifying, you know, as we're about to give people our flowers, you and I didn't talk about this offline, but I feel like in regards of what you wanted to talk about for this episode and what I'm thinking for this episode, that maybe we should trade, and that you give some reverence, and I'm gonna do better blues. So I'm gonna throw this banner up
Okay.
here, giving reverence,
Just
and
give it
invite you to give
reverence.
reverence, to and give flowers to the people that you had in mind today.
Yes. So I'm just really, really excited. There's so much positive, beautiful art that is coming out of pop culture right now. Like it's a very positive time that is helping to uplift me because, like, you know, when you look at the state of the world, there's a lot going on. But first of all, I want to give reverence to Issa Rae and Hooray Media Productions for their new documentary, Seen and Heard, that is now streaming on HBO Max. This is a documentary that highlights the history of Black representation in television. The first Black show, I forgot Amos and Andy show, the Amos and Andy show. First of all, when I learned the history behind it, the show was originally on radio and it was voiced by white men portraying Black people. When it finally came onto the air, they said, hey, we can't have white men playing these guys, so let's hire Black men to play it. And they depicted Black people in a negative way. It was more like, would you say it was like slapstick comedy or something? But
There's a name for I can't even think of it. Like there's an official term for how Black folks were depicted in those early days of media, and I can't think of the name for the life of me. Maybe I'll Google it and figure it out.
I
don't
can't think of
remember.
the name either, but Black people were not really represented well. We were always represented with exaggerated noses, mouths, seen as like either the help, less than, being ignorant, silly, like basically like a court gesture. And it's because they was mostly if Black people weren't in those spaces. So Issa Rae, her documentary, it looks into how Black people were finally able to be represented well, and how we not only have representation in front of the camera but behind the scenes, the showrunners, the writers, the lighting department, the producers, directors, which all helps to make a cohesive, accurate story and depiction of Black people. She highlighted how Red Fox, with his show in Sanford and Son, he pushed the writers to have more Black directors and Black writers. And he called out when he would say, hey, Black people wouldn't talk like this. Black people wouldn't do this. And they talked to Norman Lear, who was the creator of Sanford and Son, Good Times, The Jeffersons, really big, prominent shows that finally gave America a look into what it is that Black families faced in America. And also talking about how, you don't really get the full story of Black people when it's written by people who are not Black people. A good example of that is the first season of what was it, Bill Cosby's A Different World, and the seasons thereafter when Debbie Allen came in, like she talked about that. Like, did you watch A Different World when it came on the air?
I absolutely did. And, for me, honestly, it was really wild to watch this documentary because I've sat down and had these conversations with those people who were featured. Lena Waithe, Debbie Allen did a meeting at our company when I worked at Juvie, and she really spoke to how it felt for her to be in a room filled with diverse people. She was like, the entire time that I worked at Hollywood, I've never been at a table like this. So as we're giving reverence, Viola Davis also was featured in this documentary. Mara Brock Akil, who started out as a production intern on or a production assistant on South Central, which I love that they really highlighted that show that and spoke to the waves of Black television, and most notably how networks have a tendency to build their network off of the programming of Black folks. So I'm a segue to Do Better Blues and really highlight the networks, and grateful for the fact that Issa Rae highlighted the fact that networks have a tendency when they're starting, when they're doing a rebrand, of investing in Black content and then pulling it off the air out of nowhere. Mara Brock Akil talked about the pain that came with Girlfriends being canceled without a series finale. That show, I don't remember how many seasons it was, like 5 or 6 seasons, but like
6.
Thank you. 6 seasons is a long time for a series to not get a series finale, for the writers to not be given an opportunity to set that closure. And she told me that she's got a just this dream on her heart to make a Girlfriends finale movie, but she's like, it's gonna need money. And when I was at Juvie, I was like, what can I do? How can I get the money to get this movie made?
Can we do a fundraiser for this? Can we get a Girlfriends movie? Because I'm rewatching Girlfriends now, and it's amazing. Like, these are conversations that are really had amongst Black women, especially, in the late 20s, early 30s phase. Like, I love stuff like this. And it's true, like, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, we just had this wave recently where we finally had shows like there was Insecure, Harlem, Run the World. There was another show that featured millennial Black women, professional Black women. I know Issa Rae said she wanted Insecure to end after 5 seasons, but Harlem ended abruptly, and it's like the ending, it was like it just fell flat. And it's so tiring that this cycle happens where these networks use Black stories to bring audiences because they know that we are going to support each other. We want to see each other. So we're going to bring those viewers. And then when you get the numbers that you want, you cancel it. Regina and I just had this conversation. She said, how is it that Modern Family was on the air for so long, but Harlem was only on for 3 seasons and it was amazing? And I was like, honey, that's what these networks do, unfortunately, and it's not right.
Yeah, and right now we are in an era where none of the networks are looking to develop this kind of content. And as Issa Rae identified, she did this herself. That the opportunities online, the audiences are online, and I feel like we're in this era where, as this documentary noted, that corporations are the ones that are making the decisions around content. This is a money game. This is not about what is best for the country. It is not about what is best for the people who are watching this content. Nobody, the corporations that are making these decisions for money reasons aren't thinking about this at all. And I think that the diminished views that you're seeing from traditional media, and I'm even calling streaming traditional media, because the way that they go about developing content is through the same ways that major networks. It's the same kind of pipeline. They're using the same writers and directors that have been in the system for the last 20 years, and aren't really open to the idea of developing content in a way that's fresh and contemporary. That's where we're seeing the same recycled IP in major motion pictures and on screen, because IP is, people have that personal connection. They know what it is. And so it's a business model that feels like it's effective and it pays. But in reality, when you look at these diminishing numbers, more people are watching content online than on traditional and streaming networks right now. That it's not really helping your bottom line. And so I'm inviting networks to do better.
I think that they are kind of getting the hint, because people are voicing more concern on social media. They're seeing like the superhero movies, they're not doing as well. And the more obscure films like Weapons, Sinners was amazingly creative. They are learning that the viewers, us, we want to see more fresh, creative, innovative stories that include real people that look like us, not all these, these make-believe Hollywood-looking stars. Like, we want true, raw, authentic storytelling.
Absolutely. So, as I'm thinking about authenticity, I'm a shift to the Making Peace with Your Inner Shit Talker weekly practice. I have been hosting a shit talker space at CSU Youth Services at a local youth shelter. And yesterday was my biggest room yet. There were like 20 youth, which was a lot harder to do when there was like 5 or 6. But it's been really fun to know that this, for me, this is what the purpose and the intention of this practice is to get it into the hands, have it be accessible for everyone, have it, like if you're in, when I think of homeless youth, that they're in this place where they're at their most vulnerable, that safety and security is kind of at an all-time low. They at least have shelter versus like living out in the street. This is like the next step up is having a roof over their head, but being able to show up and invite people to get in touch with what's happening inside of you. What are the voices? What is the running dialogue going on in your head? And how do you put your attention and awareness on what is working for you versus what is not working for you? And so I am currently, I started my own 90-day practice back in April, and here I am in September, and I just made it to day 30 right now. So I'm on day 30 is about self-love. I've been sitting in self-love for like a good month now. And the book of this practice, of the self-love practice, is Rest is Resistance. Be lovely, can you write that down in chat? I don't know. It's called Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto. And it is by Tricia, Tricia Hersey, which is like Hershey, Hersey, Tricia Hersey. Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto. And as I was speaking about earlier, like I said, I'm in rest mode. So for the book of the month to be, or the book, not the book of the month, it's actually 4 days of a self-love practice. But for me, it's my book of the month because I've been in this practice, this self-love practice for the last 30 days, to be reminded that this book, Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto by Tricia Hersey, is my personal reminder, my conscious reminder. Thank you for that, Be Lovely. That having prioritizing rest in my day, in my life, as part of my self-love practice fully supports me. So that's what I've been on. That's the book. One of the many books. There's lots of resources provided in the Making Peace with Your Inner Shit Talker practice. So this is the one that I recommend.
Man, thank you for recommending that. And before we close out, we do want to give our final batch of flowers to a little lady who came out on the scene a mere 31 minutes ago and has been killing it ever since. Mariah Carey. She was honored with the first ever flowers event from Apple Music last night. SZA had an intimate conversation with Mariah in front of fans because her new album, her 16th album, Here for It All, will be out tomorrow. And I stayed up and I watched this conversation. Very beautiful interview. SZA was very sweet, very empathetic, and was able to help bring Mariah out of her shell. And they listened to a few of her songs from the album. Here for It All, the title track, she says that she intentionally put it at the end because she wants people to listen to it. And Casey, it is beautiful. It's like Fly Like a Bird times 10 when you get to the gospel breakdown. It's amazing. I'm so ready for this album.
Tomorrow's not that far away. I have like a list of questions of if I ever meet Mariah, these are things I want to make sure that I ask. And one of them is, have you considered making a gospel album? Like I don't know the answer, which is why it's on my list. But
she has a gospel song with the Clark sisters on there. And I'm like, the fact that she was able to pull the Clark sisters, ultimate gospel song.
Yes. And this concept of being here for it all is a perfect like synonym for living each day is the best day ever. What it means to be here for it all, not just the things that are comfortable, not just the things that we like, that living each day is the best day ever, being here for it all is recognizing that every single challenge is designed for us to be our best selves, and every day can be the best day ever. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the people before we pray out, Ms. B Lovely?
Yeah, I want to leave us on a positive note. There's power in the tongue. You can speak opportunity into your life, and you can speak that opportunity out of your life. Be careful about what you say and how you say it. There's power in words. Um, for example, some people, like when I see online, say, I can't do things, I'm broke. Don't speak like that. Speak positivity over your life. I am rich. You attract what you put out. Remember that.
Beautiful. Let's use that in prayer. So I invite us to take a moment to bring our conscious attention and awareness to our own understanding of God, our own understanding of spirit, of source, of whatever word we like to use, and trust and know that our own understanding, our own words for spirituality are perfect and right for us. I'm grateful that we have been invited to engage and participate in this weekly experience of asking ourselves what's up and why. And I'm grateful to trust and know that each one of us has experienced whatever wisdom we need for the day, whether it is being invited to recognize that we are here for it all, whether it is living each day as the best day ever, prioritizing rest, or remembering the power of our word. I am grateful to trust and know that this episode has supported each person who is engaging in it, and that our lives are forever changed as a result of saying yes to it all. And in gratitude, I release this prayer, letting it do what it does. And I invite us to close with whatever word or phrase resonates most for you in closing prayer. I choose to close by saying, and so it is.
Amen. That's been another episode of What's Up and Why. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place, 1 p.m. Eastern. Have a very beautiful and positive day.
And the best day ever.